After the rhythm section is balanced, it's time to add the rest of the instruments. The order in which that happens will depend upon the song and the arrangement, so let's look at our sample song as an example. So the idea here is we're going to bring the instruments in just to the level that we can hear them, so we don't overpower the rhythm section. The first thing we're going to bring in is the organ, because I like to bring the keyboards in first, if there are keyboards in the song. You can start with any other instrument that you like, but for me, the keyboards seem to work because a lot of times they work as a pad, so they're kind of a bed instrument in the song. Next instrument I'm going to bring in is guitar number 1. In this case, it just says guitar. So we're going to bring this in, once again, to the point that we can hear it, but it doesn't overpower the rhythm section. Now we're going to bring in guitar number 2. Same thing, we're going to bring it in just loud enough that we can hear it, not too loud that it overpowers the rhythm section or any of the other instruments for that matter. Now guitar 1 and guitar 2 sound very, very similar, and it's very difficult to even differentiate between the two. We're going to fix that a little bit later with the cue, but for now we're going to leave it just the way it is. Now let's bring in the vocal. Now the vocal actually can be in several different places in terms of balance. On a normal pop song, it's way out in front of the rhythm section. It's the most prominent featured instrument in the mix. In a rock song, or in a song where you like the most power of the mix, usually it's back farther in the mix. So let's bring this up to where it's like a typical pop mix, where it's up in front.
I've been kissed, loved, squeezed, teased, but never like this before. You got me tracking behind you, running on my knees, pleading and begging for more.
Now you can hear this is just a little bit on top of the rhythm section. It's still powerful, but what you really hear first and foremost is that vocal, and of course you hear this in a lot of pop songs. If we want to emphasize the power of the band, usually we'll bring that vocal back somewhat into the mix. Not so much that we can't distinguish the words, but far enough back that the power of the mix is up in front.
I've been kissed, loved, squeezed, teased, but never like this before. You got me tracking behind you, running on my knees, pleading and begging for more. I said I heard a lot of sweet talk in my time.
So now we have it back farther in the mix, and we can even bring it back farther. There are some hit songs where you really have to listen hard to hear the words, and that's on purpose. The vocal is brought back far enough in the mix so you hear more of the power of the rhythm section. Either way is okay. It depends upon the song and it depends upon the mix that you're going for. Now let's bring the background vocals in. The background vocals start in the B section of the song, so let's go there. We'll hit Command or Control 5, bring up our memory locations window, and B section, close our memory locations window, and here we go.
I heard a lot of sweet talk in my time, but your pretty words is a mess on my mind. It's like a never, oh never like this before.
So the background vocals are usually a little bit behind the lead vocals, as they are right now. Sometimes they're equal to the lead vocals in level, but they're never above the lead vocal, or very rarely. So we want to start with them right about there. Now, the last thing we're going to bring in is the percussion. In this case, it's the tambourine. And once again, we're going to bring this up so we can just about hear it in the mix.
I heard a lot of sweet talk in my time, but your pretty words is a mess on my mind. It's like a never, oh never like this before. I've been sweating.
This is the balance of a rough mix. And generally speaking, it's only a place to start. We're going to tweak it from here. It'll get tweaked as we add compression. It'll get tweaked as we add EQ to the instruments to make them more defined and bigger. And it'll get tweaked when we add effects. So to sum it up, be careful that the instruments aren't too loud so that the rhythm section stays powerful. Also remember that in pop songs, the vocals are usually the loudest element in the mix, but to emphasize the groove, decrease the vocal level.